Good evening then, ladies and gentlemen. We are coming in now for another game in the JDL. This one is Arrow against Titan from the Asia 1 League. Titan, of course, I've cast a couple of their games. They're currently 12th on JDL overall. They are leading the Asia 1 bracket, although the top 3 places all have 2 losses. And Orange is currently rampaging their way up with no losses but less games played, but we won't bother with that. Arrow also sitting with 2 losses, so this is quite an important game. One of these 2 teams is going to be knocked down a couple of places here. Arrow probably not the favourites here, just because they're 21st on the JDL, which is incredibly impressive for sure. But Titan do seem to have been having an edge in some of their recent games. I'm just going to have a quick look at my volume levels because they look a little weird. Yep, there we go. I apologise if I was just deafening anybody. Hopefully that's a little bit better. Yep, okay, square. Alright, wonderful. So let's have a look then. Titan banning out the Bat Rider and the Centaur. I think that makes sense given that in some of Arrow's most recent drafts they have been looking at kind of very stunny ganky lineups where you're kind of relying on the ability to either disable the entire team at once with something decent like a stomp, or pull somebody out with someone like a pudge. So Bat Rider makes sense as a ban as well. Arrow picking up the Invoker very quickly as a first pick, presumably for mid. I do find that slightly strange. I mean, maybe they're trying to avoid counter ban or something, but Invoker's not. He's a very, very strong mid, but I don't think he's the hardest person to counter. I'm generally the kind of person who'd be more in favour of picking up supports, but these teams obviously have very set ideas on what they want, and they want to get them without risking them being banned, so that's fair enough. Titan there kind of following the pattern of picking up important heroes first, grabbing the Lone Druid. Interesting one. I mean, almost certainly going to be played solo. I really can't see a situation where he wouldn't be. Question is, it does leave them very open whether they want to do aggressive or defensive try. Reserve time. Or have a jungler, of course, but he could be solo on either lane, so I'm going to be interested to see what happens there. Arrow Gaming banning out the AA and the Nature's Prophet, so I have to wonder whether what they're particularly afraid of from Titan are kind of global strategies, ganking strategies, where AA's ult or Nature's Prophet's ability to just teleport in would really mess with what Arrow have going on. So that's a solid pickup from them. Titan kind of proving, first of all, that Lone Druid will be solo, not that was ever really in doubt, and also proving that they want to kind of take people by surprise, picking up the Enchantress pick. And of course, Enchantress, you only pick up Enchantress if you're planning on kind of ganking lanes by, you know, running around and surprising people with a whole herd of centaurs fairly early game. So they do want to be playing this, trying to get the jump on Arrow, certainly. They're not going to be sitting back passively with an Enchantress in the jungle. Arrow picking up the Alchemist. Very open hero. Is it support Alch? Is it carry Alch? Could be either, with obviously only 2 picks gone down, so we'll have to see. Arrow taking the opportunity to ban out more of the kind of top tier supports in the game at the moment with Visage, and I think that's a very wise pick. I mean, between Lone Druid, Enchantress, and Visage, there'd be an awful lot of just passive slow and disable coming out against Arrow, and that would be awful, especially if you've kind of got a dusted Invoker who's trying to get away with Ghost Walk and that ridiculous movement speed. Do not want to suddenly get massive slows down. Titan banning out the Darkseer. I think that's probably with reference to one of the Arrow players. I mean, I've said before on Darkseer, like I get him, but to me he's great for shutting down certain carries in situational situations. Situational situations. I should trademark that. Alchemist, maybe they think Alchemist is just going to go farm carry, and they'll need a Darkseer to kind of just constantly keep that pressure up, because of course, you know, with the orbs on Darkseer, it's very hard for melee hard carries to get free farm running up against that lane. Oh, sorry. Of course, that would be applying to the Lone Druid there. Rubik there being banned out from Arrow. So again, we're seeing kind of the pattern of banning out the kind of key supports that they don't want to see. Lone Druid and Enchantress. Yes, obviously we still need a mid, we still need supports, and we still need a heavy carry there for Titan.
Reserve time.
These bans, man. These bans need to get through into the juicy stuff. I want to know what they're going to pick. What are we going to see here today? I am wondering whether, I mean, I've actually been seeing kind of summoning, you know, mass army strategies recently. Great one with, it was actually Myth against Titan, and Myth almost got a win against them by having Beastmaster, just a whole load of summoners and auras, and really taking advantage of that aura on just, you know, 100 different units. I'm wondering whether Titan are planning on doing something at all similar now. You've got Lone Druid with this bear, you've got Enchantress with you know, whatever the hell she can pick up in the jungle. That's actually kind of a dodgy arrangement there. You know, Enchantress just kind of leaves for a while, and the team are like, oh, where's Enchantress? And then she comes back with a whole load of new friends. Very weird. Lycan ban out there from Titan. I suppose, I mean, seems to me that if Arrow picked up Lycan, it would have to be a support alchemist, and I can see that. I can definitely see that, but it just seems like a strange combination. It does seem like a strange ban to me. Perhaps they're trying to make sure that Arrow can't take advantage of the jungle by taking out one of the other heroes that, in this age where it's very, very difficult to jungle, is perhaps slightly better at it than some others. But I mean, they could really have done with this Howl, so perhaps they're not going for a kind of mass army strategy. Titan also running very, very low on time. They're down to 30 seconds of bonus time here. Arrow still sitting happy on 1 minute 32 seconds in the bank. Are Titan feeling the pressure? Has something gone wrong for them? A clockwork pickup. Very, very interesting. Okay, so Lone Druid is going to be heavy carry up on Titan. Quite possibly seeing him off lane then, if they want him to, safe lane solo, if they want him to just have a bit of extra security. Although that would limit what they could do with the Enchantress coming in the lane to gank. So I'm not sure. Perhaps what we might see is Clockwork as part of some aggressive tri-lane. Aggressive dual lane.
10 seconds to go.
And then Lone Druid sitting on solo safe.
5
or it could be many things. Lone Druid solo off. Clockwork and somebody else. Safe lane, is Clockwork going to go mid? This is an unusual lineup. Not one I'm particularly used to. But that is just going to make this game even more interesting to play, though. I'm quite excited about this. The Asia 1 division has been an amazing place to go and just watch some really interesting games where strategies are often used, which I'm not familiar with. Chen coming out as well now from Arrow. So one way or another, we are going to see a lot of summoned units here. Also, a great deal of late game potential here. Lone Druid, Enchantress, I think scales quite well with her ult, but you know, obviously you can never take damage. But gotta love that pure damage. Alchemist is also on the field. Invoker, just gonna be crazy. This is gonna be an interesting game. I also have the feeling it's gonna be a long game.
Reserve time.
Possibly more than an hour. What do people think?
10 seconds to go. 5 seconds.
Wow, Titan really getting down to the wire here, picking up Shadow Demon as a really first hard support if you consider Enchantress, hard lane support anyway. Slark here coming out from Arrow. That's a grand pickup from them. Rounds their lanes off nicely, I think, and gives them some good ganking potential, which Alchemist or Invoker or Chen could follow up on. But those three perhaps lacking the kind of immediate initiation. So now we get onto the last bans, and yeah, Titan looking like they really want to run this time down to the wire. Getting Bristleback, I mean, they're always getting one off with kind of 1 or 2 seconds to go. So I'm pretty sure they're just trying to draw things out or stress the situation up a bit. Still no mid out from Titan, unless we're going to see one of these mid, which I doubt personally. Clockwork versus Invoker, perhaps if you played him very, very carefully, but I mean it would come down to rune control, and Invoker probably has the edge in terms of getting to the rune. Shadow Demon I've seen play mid recently.
5
Two
seconds.
very squishy characters, both capable of dishing out a lot of damage. Could be interesting, but I don't think they'll do it. And there's the Bloodseeker pickup, so maybe they will. No mid I would call 100% traditional here coming out from Titan. Perhaps that's just me. But we also had the Doom ban there. Interesting. The ban of the Doom and then the pickup of the Bloodseeker. I don't really consider these two equivalent heroes, so I don't think Arrow have got a very good handle on what Titan actually want to be doing. He said not having a very good handle
10
himself.
seconds to go.
Right, Enchantress in the jungle, fairly clear.
5
Lone Druid,
seconds.
almost always solo on... where's it going to be?
Reserve
I'm
time.
going to say off lane here, and then I'm thinking we'll see possibly Shadow Demon Bloodseeker in the safe lane, which would be really weird, and Clockwork mid. I don't know. I can't see Bloodseeker going mid against Invoker. I can't. I mean, yeah, the silence, but you can build right-click Invokers and Cold Snap and prevent Bloodseeker from getting last hits, which he needs so badly. Clockwork with the mana drain on Cogs and the ranged harass from Rocket Flare arguably can go kind of point for point in terms of mini stuns against Cold Snap with Battery Assault, so I can see that a little bit more perhaps. And then the Slardar pickup from Arrow, so they'll be running Invoker mid, Chen in the jungle. I expect we'll see... Okay, so I'm expecting what it's going to be is Slark solo, could be off lane or safe lane, to be honest, and then a double melee with Alchemist and Slardar, and I guess Alchemist support, or it could be Slardar support, but I'm wondering whether they're going to have double melees,
10 seconds to go.
which is always an interesting experience. They must be hoping to run that up
5
against the Lone Druid,
seconds.
which would mean that they, I assume, would be wanting to run it safe lane. But let's have a look. This is going to be, as I said, a very interesting game for me. A lot of strategies I don't see a lot in the Dota I play.
I'd be ready if I were
So yeah,
you.
looking forward to it. So to introduce the teams, Net has picked up Shadow Demon there, heading top lane with X, who'll be on the Enchantress, heading into the jungle, I assume. And there's NWP on the Bloodseeker. So looks like I got the lanes right on this end of things. Oh no, I didn't. Lone Druid mid and Clockwork on the off lane. Okay, that I should have really seen. That makes a little bit more sense. Lone Druid able to really use his bear just like a big brick to push away any nasty harass from Invoker. Down on Radiant, we've got Mosen on the Alchemist. We've got Johnny who. Yeah, we got Johnny on the Chen. We've got Lance on the Slardar. Looks like they are looking to jump out very, very hard on anybody
30
looking to take top
seconds
room,
to battle.
taking advantage of the fact that Radiant have better high ground here. Titan also hanging around near the room, but neither side wants to move into kind of the kill zone yet. Radiant getting their ward up, not going to be enough to spot out the Titan heroes, but they will get earlier vision than Titan will. Next up, we've got Roller sitting in on the Invoker mid. Very much looking forward to that, and a nice kit from him
Battle
as well.
starts in 3,
And Slark
2,
sitting there. It's Zing's Eye, and I just wanted to check something back on Invoker. Actually, is that? Yes, it is the Heavens Piercing
I've
Pauldrons
calculated who will
with
win
1,556 kills.
99.93%
So
certainty, if you're interested.
no messing about with that one. Sorry, just double checking some stream quality for a sec. If anyone does have any issues with it, please just let me know in the chat. Looks like pretty straight lines here. Of course, you know, Lone Druid combining melee and ranged should be able to perhaps bully Invoker out of lane slightly. We've got Clockwork here running up against the Slark. This is going to be an interesting lineup because, of course, Cogs draining mana is one of their greatest effects, but Leap is going to be able to take Slark out of or into Cogs, depending on whether they're used aggressively or defensively. Much action going on top as Alchemist starts to get caught out. Mosen, I'm afraid I missed the action there, but I assume just going in trying to get that ward up to give him some wraparound vision. Probably ended up being spotted out by this ward, which is already set up by Titan, and taking a lot of harass, but getting out no problem. I'll keep last hits and denies up just so we can keep an eye on how the farm's going this early in the game. It does look like it's Radiant coming out on top with Slark and Slardar. Over in the mid, it's Lone Druid for Titan, who's edging out, just really taking advantage of the fact that he's got 2 sources of last hits. Invoker only has 1. Excuse me. Radiant supports. Well, I say supports. Radiant support Alchemist and Chen now. Smoking up, looking to get a gank off. Oh, beautiful job there from the Slark, picking up Clockwork. Yeah, Dark Reef Prison. I can't see the Clockwork pick up here. I really can't. He's a great hero, but he's just not. I think he struggles a lot of the time, unless he's against specific people. Beautiful gank going on mid. KYXY gets finished off by that combined smoke gank we saw earlier. And I obviously need to be a little bit sharper in moving around the map and paying attention to some of these kills. Apologies for that. So it's 2 love. 2 love to talk tennis up for Arrow. Invoker there popping a clarity. He'll be looking to go down and pick up that double damage rune. Slardar, you know, I thought that was going to be a tri-lane. Looks like he's now pretty much soloing. While Alchemist and Chen do a really pretty effective just ganking team. I gotta wonder though, because Chen is gonna have to spend at least some of the game just sitting in the jungle farming, and what's Alchemist gonna do during that? If he stays in XP range or tries to get last hits, it's gonna really cause problems. Oh dear, NWP getting very close. I'm surprised we didn't see a crush there. I think there was an opportunity for it, and just the damage on it would have really hurt NWP. You know, it's totally fair enough as Bloodseeker to get low, so long as you can, yeah, get those get that HP back with last hits. He was cutting it a little bit fine there. I'm not sure. And now we have Ohai really popping clarities. He wants to keep control of this lane after that early kill. He knows he's got to be careful of potential ganks. Okay, I'm going to be here for this one. The Arrow ganking team heading mid again now that Lone Druid has respawned. The concoction has been popped. He's running in. It's hit KYXY. Not underneath any of the towers, but now we have Titan rotating in with Net on the Shadow Demon, capturing Alchemist. Ohai's here as well. Beautiful rotations here from Titan. I mean, that was 4 team members ready to help finish off in an instant. And yep, so now Ohai can just head straight back to bottom. I'm sorry. Net looking to actually looking to rotate back down. He's going to take advantage of the fact that he's already halfway down the map to set up some wards. That makes sense. Wondering if he's going to try and do a counter gank on mid. Everybody's favourite Radiant gank squad is heading back up to top. Titan's Bloodseeker NWP is looking a little bit low. If they can get an initial stun off, then he's dead. As far as I'm concerned, it is going to be tricky to get that initial stun. Very nippy hero. He's got points up in thirst, although nobody's low enough. That's strange. I would have thought Slark would have been low enough there to trigger it. Oh, and Shadow Demon's coming in as well. Chen has actually left this lane, but they don't know that Alchemist is here and coming out and angry that they're bullying his Slardar friend. Oh, Net almost goes down, but even with the stun strike there from Invoker, not enough to finish him off. And NWP now quite happy to dive, and they are going to finish off Alchemist as well. That's most sad. I think Mozan actually had great positioning there. Oh, I think that actually hit a creep. When Clockwork tried to hook in there, there was just a creep that was about to die. I think maybe he thought that it would be dead by the time the hook reached that point. But alas, no. So last hit's Bloodseeker now way up ahead. He's been able to find a bit more freedom in that lane, especially with that most recent gank on Slardar. Slark, Lone Druid, and Clock also doing very well. Slardar and Invoker, middle of the pack, let's say. So the supports are doing supporty things. The junglers are a little bit behind everyone else. and everybody else is kind of within 10 of each other, so it's going fairly well. But I would say Dire probably having the edge in this match thus far. Let's have a quick look at the XP per minute. That's more what I'm interested in. We did see an awful lot of roaming going on there from Chen and Alchemist, so unsurprisingly they are way at the bottom down here. And that's actually going to really limit their effectiveness at roaming. It's why it's perhaps questionable to be doing it this constantly, especially with someone who can get levels in jungle. Lone Druid's been doing a great job mid despite being ganked a couple of times. Oh, Slardar being picked off again top, so Bloodseeker really going to just be able to potentially snowball here. He's getting an awful lot of free farm. Enchantress is helping to defend his lane, and yeah, he's going to build up his items really quickly and then be a presence all over the map. He also ties in. I'm just trying to think, because I'm just remembering now that the bans out from Arrow included. Oh, there goes the clockwork. Cogs is out. Stun Strike is coming down. Oh, AVF very nicely being able to take advantage of the fact that it now only takes 2 hits to kill Cogs. Gets nicely out onto the tower. His team rotate in, and Clockwork ends up getting taken out to an Alchemist stun. Sorry, I don't mean that's what got the kill. I just mean that was my favourite bit. Radiant's top tower probably going to go down as Titan just seek to get some push off in in exchange. They've made more damage there than Arrow have mid, so they're probably going to be able to finish that off and TP mid if they want to try and contest this. They have popped Glyph, so we really should be seeing TPs at least, otherwise that's just a wasted Glyph. Yep, needs to be quick, guys. Tower is now deniable. Invoker wants it, possibly staying around a little bit too long. Oh, Bloodseeker denied the tower, but that was a beautiful combo from them. It was just well communicated. Invoker, stay there trying to deny the tower. Chen's going to send you back. And fingers crossed we get the timing right. Unfortunately they didn't. Bloodseeker did get the deny. But wonderful play there. Wonderful, wonderful play. X getting his farm up. But I mean, this is kind of what I'm talking about. Enchantress has been doing a great job. Let's have a quick look. She is 2 kills, 1 assist. Oh, good job there from Slark. He's getting ready to roam, probably looking for the Enchantress, but but not finding him. Finding Shadow Demon instead, which is fine. But if we just have a look, Enchantress is 2 for 1. Chen, sorry, is 1 for 1. Chen's been roaming to gank the entire time. Enchantress has just been sitting in the jungle, nice and casual, and you know, nipping out with a centaur stun as and when seemed appropriate. So, I mean, I prefer this kind of jungle play rather than this much focus on ganking, particularly when you're ganking with another hero. So any XP you do get is split up even more. I mean, they are now just miles behind everybody except Shadow Demon. It's basically like Arrow have 2 hard supports, and Titan have 1.
Dire's bottom tower is being attacked.
So, but yeah, hopefully we'll see that work out for them. I would like this game to keep interesting. I like being wrong. And if we have a look at the items, Chen doing, it looks like he's heading to mech. Slardar building up pretty standard Slardar items. He's got his boots finished. He may well be going for Vanguard next. Slark picking up his orb just to make sure people can't get away from his leaps of love. Hold up on the items for a sec, as Titan are doing a smoke gank. There's only 2 of them though, and I don't think they realise quite how many of the Radiant team they're going to be running into. Well, they've got the high ground, so they do realise. Are they going to decide to just back out? I think they are. The Titan team though is in a wonderful position to try and rotate down on Zhangtai there and try and pick off the Slark. I wonder if that's what they're going to do. I mean, yeah, if these 2 can get close, they're going to do it. They're going on Slark. Very briefly to finish off the Arrow items, Invoker on Midas is pretty much the only thing, and I'll talk about Titan in 1 moment. Shadow Demon knows where he is, getting the poison stacks on. Yep, spam those poison stacks. Are we going to have rotations here from Arrow? If we're not, this could be troublesome. Yep. Slark using the opportunity to just leap out. Invoker immediately getting ruptured the very second he gets he lands in. The Bear and Bloodseeker are able to finish him off pretty much no problem. Slark now coming out again, trying to join in the fun. Looks like the Invoker is going to be the only one to die as Titan, I think, wisely choose to retreat in the face of all those TPs. But I think that was worth it for them. Invoker was a very nice kill, and it's not like Arrow have someone important off farming another lane while they do that. Chen actually spent most of his time running to the fight. When it ended, he decided to pick up a jungle camp, but that's fine. Interestingly, Arrow actually looking to be aggressive with this, even though, you know, they were one man down and they knew they were running into the entire Titan team. So yes, good call, guys. Good call. 2 pro. But not pushing it too hard. Perhaps what they were trying to do there was just make it look like they were about to push, so that Titan were forced to leave kind of this whole contingent here. Meanwhile, in fact, pretty soon it's only Chen and everyone else is farming.
Radiant's top tower is being attacked.
The psychological mind games, I think, is basically what we're seeing here. But Titan responding. I mean, maybe I am just reading too much into this. That's perfectly possible. But I'm kind of seeing this as Titan now saying, "Oh, okay, so they want to fake us, do they? They want to pretend like they're going to push and then just back out, so we're left standing there like chumps. Well, we're just gonna charge in and kill you. That's what we're gonna do." In addition to these creeps blocking the clockwork, he does have a haste rune though, so he could very easily have got a cogs around someone there. It seems that they are preferring to just rush down bot and finish off this tower. Given that a lot of the given they did just force out a whole load of TPs with the whole purpose of defending this tower, that's not a bad call. They are gonna have to pay some attention to top though to make sure they don't lose either kills or the tower in exchange. Yep, the tower's down. Shadow Demon doing a very nice disruption there to try and get out, and Slark then gets caught between the illusions. Beautiful play there from Net on the Shadow Demon. I'm gonna call that intentional. Oh, and Slark gets ruptured, really taking an awful lot of damage, and now Ohai's come in. Battery Assault is up. I think Zhang Zai might just, he knows it's over and is just going to patiently sit there and take it. In the meantime, an awful lot of harass coming out on that tower. Arrow do kind of have a summony pushy lineup with Chen and Invoker, so there's an awful lot of summoned units coming out in this game, an awful lot. You know, Titan top tower is now lower than half health. It was pretty much full when they started that push. And that's just because there's so much damage going out onto it. When you've got extra minions attacking your tower, you're not just doing their extra damage, you're also doing, how to explain this, you're also doing the extra damage from all the creeps that stay alive because the tower aggroes the minions first, or whatever first. Yeah, it's why Broodmother can take towers so quickly if she's got a whole horde of spiderlings. It's not because spiderlings do a lot of damage, but it's because it's going to take you years to get into, you know, even a fraction of those spiderlings. Arrow looks like they want to set up a gank. Unfortunately, the derp observer ward stuck right there. Looks like one of the traditional ones as well, so possibly somebody playing with a bit of a Smurf account with no fancy wards yet. Bear also spots out the Radiant gank and then immediately gets recalled. That I find like a slightly strange use of the Bear. Unless they were just trying to scare these guys off. Because what they actually had there was a position where they could have gone in with the Arrow players thinking that they were setting up a wonderful gank, but Titan knowing all about it and so being able to counter gank. Nice. Instead what happened is they sent the Bear in, so the ganking party saw it and went, oh no, they know, and ran away. So I'm not saying it was a bad call. Maybe they wanted what they've got, which was just the Arrow team backing off, knowing they'd been spotted out. Interestingly, 4 of the Titan players getting quite aggressive and running into a smoke gank from 5 of the Arrow players. Lone Druid desperately trying to run over and help his team, but this really is just going to be a situation of run away. I think nice dodge on the Sunstrike, which fails to get anybody. I think they might just be abandoning X here to his fate. Nobody on the Arrow team being stupid enough to right-click an Enchantress, which I like to see. And yeah, the rest of these Titan players hanging around, it's not doing them any favors. It's just exposing the danger. That was a pretty typical example of sometimes things go 4 for 5 and go badly, and you kind of need to go. I mean, yeah, they might pick off the Chen, and good job there from KYXY. Actually, how much farm is this bear? Oh wow, they have radiance. Okay, didn't realize KYXY was quite that farmed. They're actually doing a grand job turning this around now that he's in the fight. But I do think that was a bit of a silly move there when you're that deep into enemy territory. It wasn't just a little scouting party, it was a genuine 4-man gank while KYXY pushed the lane, and given that none of the Arroyeros were on the map, they ended up just running in 4 on 5. I mean, the only thing that saved them there is the fact that KYXY is just very, very fed. Very, 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 very fed. They are diving in on Slardar. Possibly they're going to try and... Oh, Slithering Crush there. Possibly going to be used to get the bear. Oh, the bear just died. I didn't see a gold counter come up, so that's quite strange. Slithering Crush being used in an unusual place. Perhaps that's some game mechanic I'm not aware of. NWP getting disrupted. Oh dear, AVF going to go down very quickly to Impetus, but Slark now coming in Invis. He's going to be able to get pickoffs if anyone can. Yep, there's a Slithering Crush. Net goes down as well. These guys have amazing right-click potential when they start getting serious. Plus, with Invoker ready on the right-clicks, they're going to really, really punish Titan for being overly aggressive. But you know, as said before, the real danger here is KYXY and his bear. I even think they could almost have turned around and got one more right-click on that Slardar, and the Radiance damage would have finished him off. So wow, amazing plays. Let's have a quick look at the XP graph and the gold graph. So yeah, great play from Titan. They've been ahead for most of the game, but that last little kerfuffle, I'm going to call it there, really, really put them behind. I mean, it wasn't that they did terribly in any of the fights. You know, they were going fairly even on kills. KYXY didn't die in those fights, which was very important. But it was just, you know, you don't try and dive 4-man. When you don't have vision, when you could just dive 5-man. I mean, KYXY was just here. Like, go, bros. And I think I'm only really noticing it because Titan have been playing really, really well up till now. With rotations, with just team coordination. And definitely being a better judge than I am on recognizing the potential to go in on some of these fights and turn it around 2 on 3 or something else. But I think also just being a little bit ambitious in that last push. And ultimately paying for it. They're also trying to possibly, I don't think they're willing at any point to just say, okay, we should back out of this, and if we lose one more person that's fine, but we don't want to lose the whole team. They seem to always want to push it a little bit more, even when it seems like it's, you know, you're outnumbered and you've already lost a couple of heroes. But hell, they are more or less making it work. That last team fight, pushing Arrow miles ahead, but I'm pretty sure Titan will be able to come up with something to counter that, and especially since it's KYXY who they want to keep fed. Nobody cares about anybody else on the team. And yeah, gold much more even, and that, you know, it is the same deal where that last team fight gave Arrow an awful lot, but Titan just having an amazing lead. Even against a Midas on the Invoker. Oh, and that's true. I was going to talk about the Titan items. 4-star from Bloodseeker. I mean, can you argue with an item that forces your opponent to move when you have a spell which makes them take damage for every inch that they move? I mean, no, you can't really. I just hate it. It seems like an exploit to me, and that's totally unfair. It's not. It is actually a wonderful combo. I've died to it 100 times. It's just like, come on. You know what Arrow need to be doing, of course, is just picking up an awful lot of blade mails, and they'll be fine. But yeah, good item on him. Good item on him. I'm just being silly here. Slardar and Slark, the ultimate combo with the Alchemist stun coming out. He does just get in range. The damage on that, basically enough to take out NWP, and then a beautiful Sunstrike from Invoker finishes off the job. So, you know, my theory on Titan being able to just easily make a counter for this seems to be going out of the window as there gets taken out as well. So Lone Druid going to be a little bit useless for a little while, but that's okay. And we're really beginning now to see the push potential of the Arrow lineup. They've got actually a whole load of pushy heroes. You know, Alchemist, Acid Spray. They've got the Chen Creeps. They've got the Forge Spirits, which they're taking wonderful advantage of even after the nerf. Bear is out again, and that's just going to go straight down. So that's basically 600 gold there for the Arrow team. Have a quick look. Yep, they're now beginning to pull ahead. Looking forward to it. Bloodseeker also finishing off a Dagon now. I mean that is a very useful item on Bloodseeker. The idea of it being you need to secure kills in the area around your person. If you can do that, you heal. So it's Dagon in a sense is almost a defensive item on Bloodseeker because burst damage enables him to heal himself. And anytime you have Dagon as a defensive item, you know you kind of got both ends covered. Enchantress, I want to say going for Ags because I like Ags. I think it's an interesting part of the game mechanic. X though getting caught out by Zhang Zai. Looks like that Aghanim Scepter is going to be a little bit further. Going to take a little bit longer. Oh no! But the team is there, and they're actually going to be going on this Slardar, and there comes a Dagon. Just securing that kill before Slardar can do any sneaky Slardar tricks. Lone Druid with 2 sets of boots. I don't know whether this could just be... Where is he? Nope. Genuinely 2 sets of boots. That I find very strange, given that, as you can probably see on my screen there, flat movement speed bonuses from multiple pairs of boots do not stack. What I'm assuming what's going on there is he's picked one up for the bear and he's just waiting for recall. But that is kind of funny, since, you know, it does look like he's wearing a pair of shoes, and it's kind of strange that everybody else in Dota only ever wears 1 shoe. Shadow Demon Medallion of Courage, that seems to be kind of the go-to support item in a lot of games these days. Just, you know, there's an awful lot of kind of swift early game ganking, where kind of team coordination and lining things up is very important. So having someone whose whole job... Oh, that was a... Yeah, that was a beautiful recall there. Oh, and WP does get the kill, and instantly then, straight on full health. Chen using Hand of God. Sadly not at the right time. Titan now on a rampage. They want to try and pick off the rest of the team. If they can start getting some entangles on... Oh, I think what they were hoping to do there was get the entangle just in time for the Alchemist to end up getting stunned by himself. But Zhang Zai not going to let this go down uncontested. Wants to take out Net there. Looks like he probably will, despite the responses there from the Titan team. But still, I mean, that could not be more definitely in favor of Titan. They have started the downwards trend on the XP graph, and that probably... okay, well they are still going to have to do a bit of work to catch up on the gold. But it's been up and down all game, and they've leveled out the rise now. It's beginning to tip back in their favor. They just got to keep this up. Bloodseeker pimping out his Dagon. He really wants to just, you know, go in, rupture, take names, Dagon, leave, which is justifiable. You know, I mean, do we have any Blade Mails coming up on the Arrow team? That's because as a counter to Bloodseeker, I think Blade Mail works on literally anyone. There are very few heroes in the game that don't need the armor, or the damage, or the mana. I mean, it literally gives you a nice. It's not just a damage item or a defensive item. It's got an interesting range of utility with mana, attack and defense, but also given that he'll often try and rupture supports. Or the squishier carries, it's a great item on supports as well, because especially if he 4-staffs you afterwards, if you've got Bloodstone up, Bloodseeker kind of relies on nuke and is quite vulnerable to nuke. His health pool isn't that low. Sorry, isn't that big. Looks like the smoke gank being set up here from Titan. There's a Rupture going out on the Invoker and the Dagon and the Force Staff. He's almost dead and right under the tower. Also getting nicely caught out by the Clockwork batteries. Clockwork just basically using battery assault to finish off Chen, but almost dying in exchange. 3 Arrow team down in exchange for 2 Titans so far. X gets caught out by the Crush, but Lance is right clicking an Invoker. Could be tricky, especially with Lone Druid coming back in. So 3 for 3 in that team fight. That was messy. That was really messy. And yeah, Titan did lose the tower as well, so not really what they want. They also took out probably it's hard to say. Slark and Slardar very important on the Arrow team. They both survived. Enchantress I think less important on the Titan team. So plus they lost the tower. That I think went against them there in terms of both golds and XP. Very bumpy game. Very bumpy game. Of course, the item that I can't look at is the bear, the beautiful bear. Looks like Bear is building to Assault Cuirass, or Assault Curious, as Americans seem to like calling it. Yep, I mean his farm is just going to get absolutely crazy now. He's so mobile. He's basically spending his entire time in Druid in a bear form. And yep, they've got the stacks set up for him to just nom through, basically. Net and Ohai turning up. I don't think they're really needed, and I actually think at least some Titan players are probably needed top. Like I get that they wanted to take this safely, and they were maybe worried that the Arrow had spotted it and left a ward up to see when someone came in and tried to solo it. Oh, the Sunstrike actually not going to get vision of the Titan team. Or is it? I don't know. That was a little bit tricky. X was kind of close to it near the end of the animation, but I don't know exactly when it fades out, and I don't know exactly. Oh! Zhang Dai getting caught out by the Sentry Ward, gets ruptured, then pops BKB though, so there's not an awful lot that Titan can do to kill him. And now we've got Arrow just rampaging in. Alchemist very good at doing effective rampages when he pops his ult. He looks really, rampagey. And without Clockwork, our Titan going to be able to come up with a quick way of getting in here and stopping this Rosh take? I don't think they are. Their best bet, and I think this is what they're going to do, is use a bit of time it gives them to push out lanes. Bloodseeker is actually in a position here where he can push this, and he probably won't take tier 2. But in pushing the lane, he's going to force the Arrow team. I think he could have kept going there a little bit longer. What he wanted to do there was force the Arrow team to come down to him rather than immediately push out the lane. And in doing so, he would have given his teammates more time to push out top and mid, both of which are pushing out quite nicely at the moment for Arrow. Let's have another quick look at the items. I'm still struggling to get through this. Clockwork picking up the mech there for his team. Also the bottle carrier rather than the mid lone druid. I do like bottle on Clockwork though. Bottle is an item which a lot of people sell late game, sometimes even just for the gold, but it really is amazing, not for the regen, but just imagine you're up against, say, Slardar. He's a good example, and it's as late game as you want, and instead of having some item of his, he has a double damage rune, or he has just popped a double damage rune from bottle getting into a fight. It would be insane. And that's not always worthwhile rather than going for a tier 5 item, admittedly, of course. But on Clockwork, when you have the hope of getting an illusion rune for when you pop cogs, I can see that combo. I should really stop talking about that though, because Arrow have tried to be really aggressive here, pushing up into this tier 3, and have been sorely punished for it by a very alert Titan who just came out. They've got massive damage from Enchantress. They've got constant stuns from the bear. They've got Bloodseeker doing a wonderful job of taking just not enough damage to die and doing just enough damage to heal up. And yeah, they trounced. Slardar lost the Aegis and a BKB charge and a TP, getting out of there. So yeah, that was really bad. It's also quite a big part of the psychological game that goes on in a game of Dota. You know, if the first time you make a serious attempt to push for tier 3, okay, they got it down to less than half health, so if that were my team, I would be saying, guys, that was a huge success, we do that once more, we take the tower no matter what happens. But part of the psychological game, you know, the precedent has been set. If you push Titans tier 3s, they will all be there, and they will be ready to cause you excessive hurt to the face if you're not careful. Titan now looking to cause excessive hurt to the face in other places, not just at the tier 3s. Looking up to set a gank on this final tier 1 tower, which admittedly has been part of this game for way too long. Getting a beautiful hook in, followed by Cogs on the Slardar. X doing again an awful lot of damage from outside the Cogs with impetus, and tier 1 goes down. KYXY looks like he's going in while the rest of his team run away, which is a little bit suspect. Slardar manages to Slark manages to get a decent amount of damage there. KYXY getting 4-staffed and everything out. Those Cogs, oh, those were good Cogs. I thought they trapped him, but they didn't. Oh, but Roller there uses 4-staff, manages to catch up. Nice Yules there, I assume from X. Oh no, not from X. Well, in that case, somebody interrupted Slardar's stun, which ain't what you want. I mean, the pattern here seems to be that, you know, if you're an aggressor, you lose. Maybe everyone should just chill out and just stay at base. You know, this doesn't. Why do Radiant and Dire even have to fight? It's ridiculous. They're the same people. Yeah, ridiculous fantasy games and their ridiculous fantasy storylines. So anyway, yeah, I mean, this is basically a lesson in the futility of war. Whenever either side tries to make a move, they get their asses handed to them. And that's going to be, yep, a very quickly dead Alchemist. That's one of the dangers on Alchemist. You know, you can play him support, but with greed, if the shit hits the fan, or if you're just left alone for a little while, you can get up to semi-carry or carry potential very quickly. Once you get the points in greed. So I don't have anything against NWP using his ult and a full staff and a Dagon there. All got low cooldowns. The mana cost hurts a little bit, but he's still got enough for the combo. So no worries. Good job there, little buddy. Good job. I'm also wondering whether Blade Mail on him might also be a good pickup. He doesn't have he's got decent armor just as an agility carry, and thinking about the maths of it and effective hit points and, you know, what mathematically works out best given the diminishing value of armor as it increases, I think he would probably be better off with a health item for now. He's actually balanced it beautifully, I think, right now. But probably a health item would be better. But just that Blade Mail, if you hesitate to hit Bloodseeker, it's very easy to miss your chance to kill him before he just starts to crush. So I think it'll be good. I think it'll be good. Possibly the one downside is, you know, if you get Blade Mail on Bloodseeker, then you remind everybody else that Blade Mailing when you're against a Bloodseeker is also a thing. Still not seeing any Blade Mail though coming out from Arrow, so I'm wondering if I'm just blowing smoke here and I just don't get the game. They're seeming to prefer BKBs as a way to neutralize the rupture damage, which I get on say Slark, who's fairly squishy, but certainly I think Slardar or Alchemist could actually be taking Bloodseeker out of the fight if they were Blade Mailing. Big arrow push here. They, as I said, they want to finish off that talent they got before, and they're gonna. Yep, that's already down. Titan though in a better position in the actual team fight side of the game. Oh, but Zhang Zai coming in, finishing off heroes, finishing off bears. Pops his ult to avoid detection, so that's going to be a large portion of his health up. And that's Rags. That's Rags. Titan not doing the classic wonderful defense that we've been seeing earlier, and yeah, just losing. I mean, it's not over though. I mean, a lot of what Arrow were doing depends on having Slardar and Slark rush in with BKBs and be untouchable for a while. And every time they do that, they're losing a charge. So Slardar's currently on 6 seconds with his BKB, and so is Slardar. So that's one more use, and it's going to be half what they had the first time they did this trick. I think Titan know that. You know, I saw. I was casting a Myth game with them very, very recently, where Myth tried to do a kind of a heavy push summoning lineup, and Titan were very responsive. I think one of their big skills is being able to judge how to come back. You know, this is far from hopeless with a heavily farming lone druid. Even with a Rax down, who cares? You know, you can just have the bear walk down that lane and it'll kill all the mega creeps. You know, they don't give up. They just adapt their strategy, and I think they're doing a great job at that. They're making sure they've got very high rotations, because they know that Arrow like to just rush the Rax and not even really worry about kills so much, so long as they get some decent damage on the tower. So I mean, I don't want to say that Titan are my favourites here, given that, let's have a look. Yep, 12,000 XP, 12,000 gold. But I mean, it's not unfeasible for them to pull this back. Definitely not. Current gold, wow. Although they do want to do it soon, it does look like Arrow are going to be picking up some pretty key items based on what their current gold is. Net worth Invoker taking the lead. That's gotta hurt. So at some point in the last little while, his Midas has overtaken Lone Druid's Bear in terms of a farming tool, and that basically just means that the longer this goes on, the worse it's going to be. 8 to 11 minutes. Okay, so we got about 2 minutes left on Roche. I think I'm getting gradually better at decoding this cryptic piece of crap. Looks like they're going to keep an illusion there as a scout, and actually do just a general Chen plus Invoker Forged Spirits. I want to call it a bum push mid. It's literally just like, hey, let's throw things against the tower and target it with the things. Oh hi, getting picked off. In a very nice, actually, while I'm over here talking about that, they're actually doing a perfectly nice rotation in through the bottom lane. The gap in the tower is really paying off for them there, and looks like that 6-second charge there on the Slardar and the Slark was used to great effect, as we get a full team wipe on Titan there in exchange for Chen, which, yeah, I was going to say that's callable now. They're going to keep hitting the tower, but that really was GG. That was a really good game, in my opinion. I think if Titan could have held out for just a little bit more, just a little bit, and farmed up a little bit more and shut down Arrow a little bit more, they would have been able to do something. But that BKB pickup on the Slark and the Slardar just made them untouchable. Perhaps if Titan baited that out a little bit. Anyway, second game will be up very, very soon, guys. Please tune in for that if you're watching, and I will rejoin you shortly.